There's really not much in the way of civilization out here. It's rolling hills, farmlands, lots of things like that. You know, you it's kind of funny. I've there's a place in Tennessee called Cades Cove. It's a really beautiful piece of land and there are a lot of deers there. And anytime you see a deer there, there'll just be like a line of tourists freaking out, taking pictures like it's the craziest thing they've ever seen. Deers are basically pests here. I see them every day, but that's beside the point. This is Jackson County, and for my 23 years on the planet, it's been home. And life has kind of just went on here, if that makes sense. And what I mean by, well, context at least. Since COVID-19 has kind of hit the country, we clearly weren't prepared for it. There have been these huge, massive changes that have went into effect. You know, basketball is canceled everywhere. The movies are canceled. There's, quite literally, it's like the world has came to a stop, and people are dying, and it's tragic and frightening and terrible. But apart from some of the things like people having to stay home or you know having to work from home or things like that, life is kind of the same here. People don't seem worried about it, and I don't think that's ignorance by any measure. I just mean it. People are kind of different here. People seem to be going about their daily lives just unafraid. I still see people on the road frequently. I still see people in town the times I've had to go out. That's not to say people aren't taking it seriously. All the businesses in the area, as we'll see some later, are operating by the guidelines set by the governor, but I'm not seeing people, cowering or panicking or walking around in hazmat suits and whatnot. I think people in smaller rural communities in, Appalachia like this, there's a resilience to them, and they're not living in fear, frankly, for better or worse. I don't think they're not taking it seriously by any means. They're just not being afraid of it. Most people here work outside of the county. There aren't too many job opportunities within the county. For a while, Centra was a large one, but they had to close their branch here. But for the most part, if you live in Jackson County and work in Jackson County, you're either in the school system, you're with the phone company, that's PRTC, you're with the electric company, or you're with Pike. Other than that, there aren't really many, like, well paying, like grown up jobs, so to speak. Um, as of right now, the camera is taking us through McKee, which is where a lot of these places are. Over on the left, it's going to cut to the Kentucky Farm Bureau. Well, briefly, anyway. Well, there it is. Coming up was a dollar store that had to be closed. We don't do too well economically here. Um, but anyway, most places have kind of closed down. The funeral home there, Lakes, as we all know, funerals are limited to gatherings of 10 or fewer. There's the PRTC. Over on right, there's Dairy Queen, which is they're only going through drive-through and curbside, as well as Save a Lot. That's probably the only functioning grocery store left in the county. They operate on a curbside basis as well. So, like I mentioned earlier, it's not that we're not following the rules down here, which we are. Everyone is. It's just I don't see people, you know, freaking out so much. Now, regarding the actual work done in the county, as I mentioned earlier, the school system is frankly probably one of the largest employers of the entire county. If you can get on in the school system, then you're you're in good shape. Everyone, which to get on, you have to be pretty solid. Everyone knows everyone here, so it's tough to get a job with the school system, which, which is why I'm thankful to be talking to who I'm about to talk to. My cousin, actually, Miss Tiffany Day. She's a science teacher at the high school.
My name is Tiffany Day. I work as a science teacher at Jackson County High School. This virus has impacted my life because now I'm no longer able to go to work. I'm no longer able to see my students every day. And now my own kids are with me at home every day. And it was kind of hard to get them out of the mindset that we're not on vacation, that this is still school, it's just at home, and we have to do it every single day. We all get really, really stir crazy. It's really tempting to just go out and do all the things that we would do on summer break. Like, we would like to, go to Dollywood or go shopping, but we know that we can't do that. Even going to playgrounds has become kind of a no-no because everybody starts to have that thought, and the playgrounds get too crowded to do proper social distancing. So even the most basic things you can't do if they're not at your house. Fortunately, we live on a farm, so we have a lot of outside space here, but I imagine for a lot of people that's different. Like, they have nowhere to go, nowhere to walk around that's, safe. Um, and really, just staying at home all the time causes everybody to butt heads. As far as how my work has changed, we live in a rural area, and we're supposed to have some of the best internet in the country, but I still have a large population of students who don't have internet access at home. So teaching remotely has been very, very challenging. We had new guidelines in place last week that we had to make contact or attempt to make contact and get responses from all of our students. And as a high school teacher, that's over 121, so it was a lot. And some of these kids, they get a little bit annoyed. They don't want to hear from you. You get hung up on a lot. It's kind of like working at a call center. I do try to use Zoom meetings or Google Hangouts or Skype, but I find that not a lot of students want to do that. It's been really, really difficult just getting my students motivated to do any work because at this point, they don't see any consequences. They don't know why they should do it because they haven't received zeros for work they haven't done, because this is uncharted territory. So we don't even know when we can set due dates because we have students that we don't even know have access to the work. So it has had a big impact on work. A lot of my students that do reach out to me have talked about having severe anxiety about it. They feel extremely isolated because, usually, yes, they do have a summer every year, but they can see their friends. They can go places, and they're not stuck at home in whatever bad environment they're in. And so this has been really, really difficult on some of them. The school systems have really stepped up in trying to make sure that every student has the food and supplies that they need. But the fact is, we really can't do our jobs the way we want to do. And we would all rather be at work, and a lot of my students have expressed that they would rather be back at school right now.